Hey everyone, so today I actually got out of the house and went to a toy store with my mother-in-law and my daughter since her birthday is coming up on the 26th. So her Nana wanted to spoil her and get some presents for her, so we went out today, and I always have a good time with my husband's mom because she's had depression most of her life. She's suffered with it, and so we just kind of get each other in certain ways. She doesn't understand so much the mania, like the anger, but when I'm feeling really sad or when I'm feeling really depressed, she really just gets it. So actually at the beginning of the day I was feeling pretty crappy because I barely got like any sleep last night. I tried to go to bed at like I think around 2:30, and I just tossed and turned and had racing thoughts and tossed and turned some more until like 4 o'clock, and then I was like, okay, obviously something is wrong here and I'm not falling asleep. So I got up and I actually took another clonazepam because I wasn't feeling sleepy at all. I was having the racing thoughts. So I'm thinking now I have to go back to my doctor and get that increased again. I'm gonna try again to just do my usual 2 pills tonight and see if maybe it was just, I don't know, a fluke of last night. I don't know, a combination of things that happened or whatever. So I'm just going to give it another go tonight and take the 2 pills and see how that goes. And hope I don't have to take another one. So since we went out with my husband's mom and we got to talk today, had a good cry, got a lot of stuff off my chest, and I don't know, I feel a lot better today, so I thought this would be a good time to bring up one of my heavy subjects that I've been kind of avoiding talking about or briefly talking about and then branching off somewhere else. So here's the heavy topic. It's about my biological father, so my real father. I honestly don't have very many memories of him. Like I've said in other videos, he left when I was 5, and I didn't find out till much later in my life that the reasoning for that was that he had cheated on my mom, and it was actually not with like the same woman that he ended up with, but a different woman. So anyway, I didn't find that out till much later in my life, but I don't have a lot of memories of my dad, and the ones that I do have are not very good memories, I guess. My dad was just like a very mean, selfish, alcoholic. He was just not a very nice person. So when my parents split up, I was 5, my brother was around 2. So I doubt he remembers any of this going on, but the court gave my mom full custody of me and my brother, and my dad pretty much got everything else. At the time, we were living in our own house, which had a pretty nice property in the country, and we had dirt bikes and snowmobiles, and we had a boat, I'm pretty sure, that we would go to on the weekends. And anyway, my dad got all of that. My mom got full custody of me and my brother, and my dad got everything else, pretty much. So we also were court ordered to start having to see him like every other weekend. So every other weekend, my dad would come to wherever we were living and pick us up. And most of the time, it was like a big battle. Like, my brother would freak out and never want to go. Like, basically be crying and just like begging mom not to make him go. And sometimes dad would just give up and just take me. And other times he wouldn't give in, and he would end up forcing Mikey to go. So it was, I don't know, it was just hard. It wasn't easy to just switch from parent to parent every other weekend. Especially when I felt like I didn't even really know my dad. Like, I kind of had like this fear of being around him because I really didn't know him. So he met this new woman who had 3 kids at the time, with 2 different fathers, and he moved in with her. And so every other weekend when we would visit, we would stay there at the house with her and her kids. And her kids like absolutely hated us for some reason and go out of their way to make our lives even more miserable than it already was. We both like absolutely hated going there. I didn't really show it as much. I just kind of sucked it up and knew that it was something that I had to do. Whereas my brother was a little bit younger, so I guess it was like a little bit harder on him to be like forced into doing something that he didn't want to do and stuff. While we were at my dad's place, half of the time he didn't even spend time with us. He was at his shop working, and we would spend basically the whole weekend with his girlfriend and her kids. And her idea of spending time with us would be feed us breakfast, literally lock us outside. So even if you had to like come into the house to go to the bathroom, the door would be locked. Like, you wouldn't be able to get in. We'd be let in for lunch and then kicked back out until dinner time or until my dad got home. I just like everything about being there was just completely out of my control. It was miserable. It was like I never felt like a kid. I felt like everything was being taken away from me. And it was just like an extremely hard time. So while we were there, his girlfriend's kids, one of them was a girl, so I shared a room with her, and the other 2 were boys, so my brother shared a room with them upstairs. And like this was eventually when they bought a house together and moved from another place, so they were like actually living together. My dad actually got this woman pregnant and ended up having a baby with her, so I have a half brother out there. that I don't talk to. I haven't seen him since he was very small baby, like under 8 years old. And that's really hard for me sometimes, because knowing, you know, that you have family out there, it really hurts. But that's another story for another day. I'm trying to stay on my topic of father here. So he eventually had a baby boy with this new woman, and it's kind of like hazy to me, but I'm not sure exactly why. But shortly after that, my dad pretty much just like gave up coming to see us or pick us up on the weekends. And at first I thought it was because like he was just tired of like fighting with my brother to go every time. So as a kid I just kind of, I don't know, just accepted it. Like, what can you do? I was like 11 or 12 when he completely stopped talking to us completely. And at first I was really hurt by it, and I don't know why, because I never really was like super close with him or anything, but I guess it always hurts when it feels like your parent is abandoning you or just like choosing another family over you. But then a couple of years later, we moved into the first house that my mom ever owned, and she had been with my stepdad for a while. And one day my brother was just having just like a really bad manic bipolar day, and he was just acting just, I don't know, like just differently than he normally did when he was manic. And I guess I just kind of picked up on that. And I remember he was in the bathroom and the door was open, and he was standing there looking at the mirror, and he was crying, and I just had this overwhelming feeling to ask him if something had ever happened to him. And I remember the look that he gave me. And he just broke down, and I eventually got it out of him, you know, like who found out it was our father. I was wrecked. I remember having to leave the house like right then and there and just go and walk. And I walked for hours just trying to clear my head, just trying to figure out what the hell had just happened. And everything just, all these pieces just started falling into place, you know, like everything, all the way he used to treat us, the way he used to separate us. How scared my brother used to be to go there, like all of these things, they just added up all of a sudden. You know, I think I was 14 at the time when my brother told me, and from the time I was 14, for years after that, I had so much guilt. I felt like, as his older sister, I had failed him and I didn't protect him. And that I wasn't there for him when he really needed me. And I should have been smart enough to know what was going on, even though I was only 12. I should have seen. So I had to go to a lot of counselors after that. And it was a pretty rough time for me because I just felt like my whole world was falling apart. And you know, my mom had to go through all these steps with Children Aid and, you know, filing police report and all this stuff. And I remember one day when I was about 15, we went to court, and it was supposed to be just some simple thing, my mom signing papers or talking to some lawyer or something. My dad wasn't even supposed to be there. It was just supposed to be a simple in and out thing. My brother decided to stay home, thank God, that day, but I decided that I'd go with my mom. And I remember walking out of the courthouse and seeing him standing there with his girlfriend, and she had the nerve to smile at me like nothing was happening, like that she didn't have 3 boys at home that she should be fucking worried about. And I just couldn't fucking believe it. I had an instant panic attack right there in the parking lot, and I remember almost passing out and my aunt catching me and putting me in the car. And I couldn't even say anything to him. And before that, you know, I had had like a year to think about all of this stuff, and if I ever had the chance to see him again, what I would say to him. And I was so sure that if I had ever saw him again, that I would make sure he knew how much I hated him and how much he destroyed my life and how much I never wanted to see his face again. And as soon as I saw his face, I completely panicked. And I haven't seen him since then. And I'm glad. My brother was really young at the time, and in Canadian courtrooms, videotapes that they take with CAS are inadmissible in courtrooms. So basically, unless my brother was willing to be in the same room with my father and basically point him out as the one who touched him, who destroyed him, that there was nothing that could be done. So he's still walking free. And when my mom had her stroke, like, I was part of the reason why I was so damn angry. I was like, why did my mom deserve this of all people when I have one of the shittiest fathers on the universe? How come he's not the one in that bed suffering right now? It was just so unfair. I still have a lot of unanswered questions, and I think if I ever saw him again now, I would be able to control myself enough to get the answers that I need from him. To this day, I don't understand why he just gave up on us if it wasn't true. It has to be true. Why would my brother make up something like that? I saw the look in his face. And I know the way it made me feel when I saw it on his face. It's another part of my shame, I guess. How are you supposed to feel good about yourself knowing that you're the product of a child molester? Piece of him is in me. It makes me sick. It really does. I had so much hate and contempt for him for so long. And then one day I truly found God, and I realized that all of this pain and all of this guilt I had been carrying around for so long, I didn't need to do that anymore. That it wasn't up to me to judge him. It wasn't up to me to punish him. One day he's going to have to stand in front of God, and he's going to have to explain to him what he did to his children. And to me, that's punishment enough. So, as hard and as stupid as it may seem to some people, I forgave my father a long time ago for everything that he's done, for how much he's hurt me, the things he said to my brother. I forgave him. And I started feeling the guilt lifting, and I started feeling lighter, and I never thought that forgiveness could give that to you. It took me a long time though. For a long time I fought it really hard. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm ever forgiving him for what he's done. And then I just realized one day that it wasn't in my control. And that I really may never see him again. I may never even know the day that he dies. I may not even, I might not find out till years later. It's not like I talk to anyone on my dad's side of the family. So, heavy topic, I know. I just wanted to talk about that today when I was actually feeling pretty good, so I wouldn't be too emotional when I was trying to tell the story, I guess. And if I had tried to tell you this story even 5 years ago, I would have been a complete and utter melting wreck in front of you. But the forgiveness has given me a lot of strength to be able to talk more about it now, and to not be so afraid and shameful of actions that weren't mine. Yeah, he's my biological father, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna repeat the same thing that he did. I'm not gonna be the same person. And it just gives me all the more motivation to be a better person, to be better than him, to be like my mom. So until next time, remember, no family's perfect. We all have our secrets. Just don't let the guilt weigh you down. Don't let that eat away at you. Talk to someone. Get help in a way that you know that you need to. Whether that's talking to a counselor, going to group therapy, whatever it may be for you, just do it. Stop procrastinating and just do it, because the day that you do it is the day that the weight starts lifting, and it's the day that you truly can start forgiving and moving on and putting that section of the past in the past. So until next time, stay strong. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting. And remember, you're never alone.